I read a book by a guy um, who's an Italian guy who wrote about an entrepreneur who became a politician called Silvio Berlusconi. So Berlusconi was the prime minister of Italy for many, many years, had a big TV station and a number of other things. Pretty interesting character. And also was the template for Donald Trump and for Marine Le Pen in France, as far as their political way they approach politics. That was the template without a doubt. Anyway, so the book's fascinating. It's called The Sack of Rome. The Sack of Rome. Really great business book to read, all about a guy who most of us wouldn't really know, but he built this incredible empire. One of the things that I really got from that book was that he approached life in a very happy-go-lucky way. And his phrase was, I have the sunshine in my pocket. Kind of like, that's kind of, he's the guy in any given room. He's the guy laughing and joking. He's always upbeat. He's that guy, okay? And I've seen that time and time again. I very, very rarely meet entrepreneurs who aren't optimists. I very, very rarely meet good entrepreneurs, successful entrepreneurs, quote unquote, who aren't optimists. So you will find that pessimists are often right. Like more often than not, they'll get it right. But optimists, more often than not, are wealthy. So you have to kind of pick which one you want to be, okay? Which one you want to be. I favor the latter. I favor the latter. It's just much more interesting way to live. Next up, I read a lot of business books, and I have personally found them incredibly useful. And the thing that I get from them over and above everything else is that it's possible. And I think that's a really important thing to learn at a very deep level, is that it's possible. You can do it. If you will apply yourself, you will do it, okay? What I've get far, far more actual business knowledge from, though, is running businesses. That's where the business knowledge comes from. A really old mate of mine said something really off the cuff to me once, and it really stuck with me. And it's this. He said, you can't learn to swim by reading a book on swimming. If you want to learn to swim, you got to jump in the pool and start flapping your arms around until you swim. That's how you learn to swim, not from reading a book. So whilst I love reading, I read with a purpose, I read a lot. I'm also aware that if you are wanting to get skills as an entrepreneur, the way you get those skills is by diving in and getting started. That's how you get them, okay? Next up, no matter what you're doing, no matter what you're selling, somebody will absolutely hate it, without a doubt. And the more successful you get, the more people will hate the thing that you're doing. It's just a weird phenomena, which is one of the reasons why I post, whenever I get hate mail, I always post it on my Facebook page, because I want people to see it's normal. That's what happens. You get people just giving you hate all the time. You have to kind of get a bit of a tough skin for that and recognize it for what it is, okay? Doesn't matter what you're doing. As soon as you start doing something interesting that you love, you will get people who hate it. It's just normal, okay? This is a tough one, especially if these people are close to you or friends, family members, things like that. But I think it's super important. If people are actively rooting for you to fail, you've got to get rid of them from your life. Motivation is it's really fickle when you're first getting started. It's really fickle. You haven't developed the intrinsic motivation yet, strong sense of you can do it yet. And so I think it's massively important as an entrepreneur, somebody starting something new, that if you've got people who are just really rooting for you to mess up and fail, you've just got to stop spending time with them just for while you're doing this thing and you're developing that intrinsic awareness of what you're trying to do. I think that's really, really important. It sucks, especially if it's somebody close to you in your family, something like that. And frequently it is. Frequently it is. Okay. Yeah. Your business heroes, they're just regular people. Like, I've met loads of my business heroes, and they're just regular people. They're just folks just like you and me who took action, made heaps of mistakes, and just kept at it. That's all they are. And so holding these people up on a pedestal, I think, is folly. I don't think that's a great thing to do. I think it's far, far better, which is why I read business biographies as well, by the way, because you recognize, oh, I do that. Oh, I'm an idiot like that. Oh, they do just like me. You know, it kind of just levels the playing field, reminds you they're just people just like you. And if they can do it, you can do it. Super, super important. If you can make $1, if you can make $1 online, if you can sell one thing for $1 online, you can probably sell $1,000 worth of stuff. Okay. It's that first sale, that $1, that's actually the hardest dollar you make online. That very, very first one. That's the hardest one. After that, the other dollars after that get commensurately easier because you're developing those skills that are necessary to make that money. So if you can make $1, you can make $1,000. If you can make $1,000, you can probably make $100,000. If you can make $100,000, you could probably make yourself $1 million. Okay, without a doubt. Last one. I do not wake up every single day like buzzing to get into it. Can't wait to start. I've got my big to-do list. I've got a kind of these. I'm just jazzed for the whole thing. I don't wake up like that every single day. Okay, I do many, many days, but some days I'm waking up like, I don't want to do any of this. Okay. And so what I found is having systems is way more important than relying on motivation. If you rely on motivation to get something done all the time, then sooner or later your motivation won't be there and the thing won't get done. Much, much better to rely upon systems to get things done. Okay. That's a big thing about growing past that initial $1 that you just make online, past that to 1,000, to 100,000, to 1 million, to 10 million. Systems, systems, systems. That's the way you build a business. That's the way you optimize your life. Systems all the way. That was a video from my regular Monday night Q&A session with the members of the Aussie Online Entrepreneurs. We are a community of over 2,500 e-commerce professionals right around the world. We're the fastest growing e-commerce community right here in Australia, for instance, with sales, by the way, of over $50 million. If you'd like to find out more about what we do, get yourself off to www.aussieonlineentrepreneurs.com.au. That link is in the description. I will see you on the next video. Until then, make sure you like this video, subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye.